Everyone, welcome to another episode of Independent Artists Unite Song Series. Back on the show, he was the first guest. Now he is the 112th guest. Can you imagine? Jimmy, a real live rock star from Tokyo Teens. Welcome.
Hey, it's how many shows have you done?
112, this is
Wow,
crazy.
that's amazing.
And I stole the idea from you.
Well, we were yeah, we it was the one song thing. I don't even remember now.
Yeah, you were doing that on Instagram Live. And
Oh yeah, you and I went so in depth
yeah, and I love
with
that. I love that because no one ever asked me about one of my songs that in depth before, and you knew my material, and I thought that was so cool, and so I wanted to give that experience to others.
well, it's you've come a long way and I love your show. I think you're doing a great job and the guests that you have on are all really great artists and they're all entertaining to watch and to listen to. So you do a great job at selecting whoever comes on here.
Oh, thanks. Well, I love it too because as soon as we did that, what I realized is we had a connection then that is like forever, you know?
Yes, that's true. And
When
I will always be the first guest no matter what happens.
exactly, exactly.
And I'm still honored. That's so cool.
And you still have all your hair.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm so stressed out all the time. I'm amazed I still have any at all. But yes, it's still there.
Amazing, amazing.
I don't have any on my legs, but I have plenty on my
I don't have any
head.
on my chest. I've never had chest hair.
Yeah.
My dad had a little thing, and I can't grow a beard either. I get a little like Shaggy from Scooby Doo, you know?
Well, you just choose to use your hormones for other
Exactly.
things
Exactly. Exactly.
and not growing hair.
Yeah. Like making more children than I can take care of. Woo!
Well, it's not just an art; it's an adventure.
But now death holds my hand.
Yeah.
I know that this is a song that's been in the making for many years. Your relationship to death in this process you've been living.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the stories through the years that led to this?
Okay. I leading up to this release, I did post several reels where I talked about some of these losses in particular. But the whole thing, yeah, I talked about when I was just a little boy. I must have been 7 or 8 years old. I found this butterfly out in the grass in the front yard. It had a broken wing, and I brought it in and put it in a shoebox. I put some grass in there and a little water, and my intention was for it to get better so I could let it fly away. And then, of course, a couple of days later, it died. and, it shattered my world. Uh,
That's a
I was a
tough lesson,
sensitive,
man.
I was a sensitive kid, but so anyway, so I talked about that and some of the other people that I lost, and then it made me stop and think about the one mistress that we all have, and there's no exception, and that is death, and how our earthly lives are short, and there's no escaping that. And it made me think, gosh, death is kind of like it could be like a girl, like a mistress, and you're living with this person death every day. All of us are. And so I started thinking about that and how to verbalize that uh, and make it make sense. And so I just came up with death holds my hand. And I'm speaking about myself, but it's universal.
Yeah.
So I thought, gosh, people could relate to that. Everyone can relate to that, whether they want to or not. And so that's how that whole thing came about. And that's kind of the backstory a little bit on the song. My dogs are all around me right now. They're off camera, and they are. Yeah, I couldn't get
been
the
fed
big one
already?
out of the chair, so I could sit here. So that took 10 minutes. But they're all around me. So if I seem a little distracted, I'm sorry. It's because they can't live without me. They're all around me today. So, but that's how the song came. Basically, the humble beginnings of the song came from me thinking about that and how could I talk about that and sing about that in a way that everyone can relate without the lyrical content getting too deep.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
because there's also like I think something that's special about it is there's a little bit of like a I don't know, like a little bit of like a contemptuous relationship between you and the Mistress Death, almost like a little bit of like teasing or a little bit of like
yeah,
a little antagonism, you know.
yeah. There's a little bit of taunting
Yeah, taunting.
coming from her,
Yeah,
uh, and she can be tender, soft, and quiet in moments, and then she can also be taunting and laughing because she knows that there's no escape, and ultimately you're going to end up with her. She's going to be your girl no matter what you do, and she knows that.
and how is your ideas about death changed from taking in the butterfly to now?
It's how's my thinking changed about it? Well, I have a better understanding certainly by now. But no matter how deep we go into it, we still there's still no complete understanding of it all. We're still left with questions. We're still left with feelings that we don't like and emotions that we don't want to have to deal with.
Mm.
So no matter how tight we think we have it wrapped up, ultimately we don't. There's still going to be a few loose ends that we're never going to figure out, and we've just got to live with it.
Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, you certainly know. Yeah, without having to go into all that, you certainly know. I know that your understanding must have really flipped over, with your experience.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was interesting. I mean, it was a little bit of that butterfly experience because I've always been terrified of death. It's not just the sadness, but I used to like be thinking of it when I was a kid and I'd be like, "Ugh," sit up in bed and be like, what, you know, the
Yeah,
blackness, the nothingness, and all this kind of stuff. And it was like when I had this like near death experience that you're talking about with my heart attack, I that was my goal after that. I was like, I want to make peace with this,
yeah,
as much as I can, and accept um accept it, I guess. So I kind of like became like a death researcher.
mhm.
A lot of
Right.
books about near death experiences and stuff like that. Have you gone into that at all?
I a little bit. Yes, I read about people's different experiences with that. Excuse me. And all that did was really solidify my belief in the afterlife.
Mm,
Is what that did. And actually, now coming back around, that's how I should have answered your question in the first place. Is it really, really, really dialed me into the afterlife, and I know that that exists,
mm,
and I know that we're energy, we're souls, and we do ultimately live on. And now, light bulb moment, that's really what I learned.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what,
that's where I arrived also. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's that's comforting, man. Like I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid of death. I think people are more afraid of dying and what that is physically, how that manifests itself in different
Mm.
ways, for
Yeah,
everyone.
or suffering in some way or yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what really scares people. But I'm not afraid to die. You know what? Several years ago, did some fill in bass guitar work with a friend of mine's band. And we were outside talking out back of the club. And he told me that he was afraid to die. And I had never heard anybody say that. No one had ever said that to me.
Mm.
And that made me sad.
Mm.
That made me sad for him because you shouldn't be afraid to die. You shouldn't live your life fearing your own death,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my opinion.
That's funny. That's what my mom said when I was just a little kid, and I was like, because I would be like crying about dying someday, you know.
Wow.
And my mom was well, my mom was often not a nice woman, but she said, "Oh God, Scott, you're gonna waste your whole life worrying about death. That's no way to live your life, you know." But she said it in such a harsh way. But now I, you know, I agree with her now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was too much
Yeah.
for a little kid to hear that
Prize ending.
in the way that she delivered it. But it's interesting, like how we even learn about death. You know, I mean, I guess had you talked about it with your parents or anything before the butterfly thing, or
No, I never really, I mean, that experience happened to me and it really was profound.
yeah,
It really, it really was. It kind of seems silly in a way, maybe, but it was really profound to me. And I took that with me all the way to now, but it didn't surface. I thought about it, but it didn't really surface until, I lost my father many years ago. It's been, it's been 40 years.
oh wow,
It's kind of strange how much, but I didn't really relate back to it until I started losing loved ones and animals, pets. And then I thought back to that moment all those years ago. And, but I was sensitive as a kid. I'm glad now, though, looking back, I'm glad I was kind of tuned in to everything and things like that affected me so much.
yeah.
Um,
I was like that as a little kid too. It's interesting. Yeah,
yeah, it's,
super sensitive.
and I think, like I'm sad. I think about people, my loved ones passing and how much time I may have left with some of them and my friends. And that makes me sad and mournful. That could hit at any moment.
Mm.
But being comfortable with the thought of an afterlife and that we all live on, you know, helps me, kind of be okay with it in some way. And it makes dealing with everything in in my daily life much better. So I'm not constantly focused and obsessed on it like I used to be.
Yeah.
Um,
It's interesting too, like you say, you know, that we all, no matter what we believe, we have some questions. You know, there are always some question marks,
it's always
and
going to be.
I wonder to what degree those question marks will be wiped away by science in the future. Because now, like we have, like now we know, for instance, we only see and hear like a very small part of the spectrum of what can be seen and heard. You know, we know that these like machines that we walk around in can only perceive this much, you know, light
Yeah.
and like can hear this much, and we know that there's a whole spectrum there. So what is all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we know like about like parallel universes and things like that, like existing on different frequencies, like a radio. That was uh, what's the that scientist Machuchu Kaku? I can't think that Asian astrophysicist, but he talks about parallel realities like being like a radio. Like it's just like you tune a frequency to the radio, and all these radio frequencies are flying around too. We can't see them, so who are we to say, there aren't all these other frequencies going on? I mean, we know they're going on, we just can't see them. So it's
Yeah.
and I wonder, like, how much science will reveal, as time presses
Well,
on.
I mean, we could get there scientifically, but I don't think that we'll ever scientifically figure all of that out.
Yeah.
I believe in our daily lives we could possibly cross over into the different frequencies of our own life, and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
We could be in another universe, parallel universe, for a minute, an hour, and we don't really notice, or we don't know. We may notice that things may be a little different or feel weird. So I think we could possibly hop onto different radio stations every day.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
we
supposedly
don't.
we're doing it all the time. I mean, quantum physics is like, is whenever you make a decision, the other decision that you didn't make is like also been made and is another timeline or whatever. I mean, you can go crazy thinking about it, but
Well, that that's a good point, because every time we make a decision in life, we miss out on something. And this is what messes people up. When you go to the left, you miss everything that's over on the right.
mm,
So some people want to have everything on the left and the right, but you can't have that. You have to accept that you're going to miss out on these other things when you make a
mm,
decision. And you have to understand that and think about that while you're making these important decisions in your own life. And you have to be comfortable and realistic about that.
mm, yeah,
And people say, "Oh, I made the wrong decision," or "Why can't I have that?" It's because you can't have everything like that. You have to just accept the fact that there's some things you're going to miss. That's just how it is.
yeah,
And people struggle and they ruin their own psyche, missing or feeling like they're missing out.
yeah,
Develop what you have and where you are now, and appreciate that.
yeah. Which leads me to my next topic, which is older guys like us that just decide this is it. I'm
What, to
riding
end
it.
it all?
No. I'm riding this out to the end. As far no, with music, because
Oh yeah, there's no stopping it.
yeah.
No stopping it. Yeah, we're stuck. We're stuck. We're down this lane. That's all we know. I'm okay with it. We don't have any choice. And I've said this before. You you don't choose music; it chooses you.
Yeah,
And there's no
that's
walking
very
away
true.
from.
Yeah,
And it is a gift to be able to create and be artistic and write a song, record a song. It is a gift. But once it has picked you out of the crowd, man, you're stuck with it.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, we have no choice. Uh, but I'm real excited about Death Holds My Hand, because it's really gotten a fantastic reception. And Scott, this is the first straight up dark wave song I've ever recorded.
That's what I was gonna say too. It really is like a minimalist, like dark wave approach
Yeah.
on this one. And was that like when you had the idea for the song, was that intentional from the very start, or how did that
Yeah,
develop?
I had been listening to a lot of Cold Cave,
Mm,
and
love
I
them.
thought, you know what? I want to do that at least for a song or two, hardcore, straight up. And so I worked up my side of it, and then I sent everything over to the mastermind, James K. Ultra.
Oh, really? I didn't know James worked on this. Okay, I was going to ask you
Yes,
if Billy was on this one.
James worked on this one with me,
Oh,
and
awesome.
he did a great job.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I was
yes,
wondering if he did it yourself because it sounded like it sounded yeah, kind of more minimalist than things you've done with Billy Hume, your
yeah.
usual
Billy
producer.
Billy Hume makes big records. That's what he's known for, and that's what he does. But with Darkwave, you've really got to strip it down to get the essence of what that is, and you can't do too much to it. Well, it's
Yeah,
not Darkwave, so there's certain
James is the
elements that,
man for that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. James is all in that game, and so I mean, and more. And
Yeah.
more, but he did a great job. I mean, and I haven't. I'm just now outing him on this. So as I promote the song more, I'll bring him out and you know give him more recognition.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't want to say anything until I hopped on here with you.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Nice.
and so now, and I'll bring him out more and talk about him more. And I'm very grateful that we do have this relationship. I mean, he's a great producer, artist,
Yeah.
engineer.
I'm so grateful for him. I mean, you may have pieced together that have gone through a rough time this past 6 months or so, and luckily the creativity stayed with me, and I've been working with James, sending him songs this whole time. We're working on uh, on new material now, and it just keeps me alive. It's like
Yeah.
it's just a miracle. He's so good at it's not just like his technical expertise too. It's his talent as like a communicator, as just like
Mm.
a soul, as another creator. And yeah, he's just got such amazing instincts and it's just he just knows so well how to communicate with you as an artist, I feel.
He does. He's completely dialed in, and his ears and his mind, they're always open.
Mm.
So and he's instantly on top of it. He understands what
Oh shit.
you're trying to tell him. He understands what you want. He's an amazing person, and I'm honored that I got him on this one. Um, I'll be doing some more stuff with him in the future, but for right now, I'm thankful
Yeah.
for James, and really, really happy with how this song turned out.
Yeah.
Really am.
Yeah, it sounds great. And it's so when you like sat down to work on it, did you have like drums and kind of bass and stuff, or you have all the instrumentation laid out, or did he add some?
Yeah, I had it all. I had everything completed except for guitar,
Okay.
and
So
he
he's
he
doing that that thing.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah. The first draft was actually like a chunky guitar
Okay.
kind of banging, but it didn't really. It took it. It wasn't really working, and I said, "Man, I tell you what, try doing some slide guitar."
Oh, nice.
And and
That fit in there perfectly. Yeah.
then he sent me some. What he sent me after that was absolutely amazing. Completely transformed the song. Like, oh my god, I didn't know he was going to do all that he did. Just these
It's
sounds and
like
this
it's like Christmas
atmosphere.
morning when you get those playbacks. Like,
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm listening to this. This is freaking amazing. just nailing it. The reverb and the depth on the vocals, the slide guitar, the way it sounds like. Some of that I didn't know it was slide guitar. I thought it was some kind of synth based something.
Mm.
So some of that he had to explain to me what he did, but it was, I mean, he nailed it, man. He nailed it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's what I try to do is no matter what I send to anyone, I try to make it as complete as I can. Song arrangement, structure. I try to get the drums, get everything as much as I can do here in my modest studio.
Yeah.
Because that helps them understand. First of all, they're glad to get something that's mostly complete, and secondly, it lays out the foundation for what I'm trying to achieve, so they can hear that. And it's a great roadmap for any producer or engineer, whatever, that mixing is at the back end, but it helps them understand what I want.
Yeah, what the vibe is going to be and stuff.
Yeah, what is it going to be?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then and I'm happy about the artwork too. I pulled up an old photo that I took maybe a year or two ago.
Oh yeah, I love that photo.
It looks good, man. It's I have like a silk giant sunflower one day, and I was in the bathroom, and I thought, hey man, I'm going to take a selfie of me holding this sunflower in front of my face and to get all made up and do it. So I snapped that, and it's been sitting in my photos for maybe 2 years,
waiting for the right moment.
and yeah, and I'm like, I was trying to think of what to do, and then I was scrolling through and I saw that, and so that's how it ended up. And I put some gnarly effects on it to kind of make me look a little more gruesome, and that's the artwork, which I think really ties in to the song itself. And I've struggled a little bit, in my opinion, with my cover art, and I feel like in some cases it didn't really line up with the song, in my opinion. So I thought, well, starting now, that's going to change. And I started with this one. I think it looks great.
Yeah,
looks great. Tells the message. It makes you want to listen to the song, I hope.
Yeah. And are you still you for a while there you were doing Tokyo Teens Live quite a lot?
I was, and then I took a little break from that, and I recently did 3 solo shows. I went back to doing some solo shows, because I'm working on the theatrical element. So nice. I'm bringing in more props to make it look like a one-man show, and not just me standing there singing songs.
Yeah.
So I purposely am doing these solo shows. I've actually got one coming up at the end of July in Asheville, North Carolina. They're having a big Halloween in July event. So that's my next one coming up. But I've got like a vanity table, and I've got a cemetery I've set up.
Oh, nice.
And these little props, and then add on some other things that tell the story of the songs. So it looks more like a one-man play.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of what I've been working on as far as the live show is concerned.
And are you doing Death Holds My Hand in Asheville?
Yes, I've actually been doing that live.
Oh, really? You've done it already?
Oh, yeah, I've done it about 4 or 5 times
nice.
already, just to kind of see how it goes. Yeah. I've actually been opening the show with that song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then James set me up with a live version that I can perform to.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, it works live, and then I'll be doing it here July 26th in Asheville, along with some other stuff, and quite possibly another new release. If I can get it to James in time and get my tracks back, then the next single I'll start performing here at this show at the end of July. That one's called "We Are the Lords of the Underworld," and it's an anthem. Like imagine, I want to rock and roll. What's rock and roll all night, party every day, Kiss. Where we're all singing together. It's a big anthem. We're all in this together. That was the thought behind that. So hopefully, I'll be performing that one live before it would ever be released as a single. So that'll be the next one.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool. That's a cool thing to do, to kind of get a feel for how people respond to it and stuff.
Yeah, and to see where it fits in the show, and then that way people have heard it a few times. I don't do a lot of shows, but I'm doing these solo shows, but at least it will be out there before it ever drops, and the people at the shows will remember.
Yeah.
And so then when it hit, oh yeah, I remember he did that song when I saw him.
Well, this is a real Tokyo Teens renaissance going on here.
Yeah, I kind of ducked out for a little while to try to just deal with my daily life and do some demos, record, and other things. So now I'm ramping it all back up, getting back in gear and getting back into it. So yeah.
I'm so happy. I miss Tokyo Teens when they go off the radar.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Yes, it's nice to be missed.
It's nice to have you back.
It's good to be back. It is good. I'm glad, man. You know how it is. It's what we said before. Yeah. It ain't never gonna stop, baby.
Can't escape. There's no escape.
No escape. Take me. I'm yours. But I live here on a farm, and so that takes up a lot of time. And I really had a lot of catch-up work to do here. That took a lot of my time. There's a lot of work to do here on this farm. So believe it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back.
Yeah,
we're back, baby.
My friend had a farm in Delaware, actually, and he just sold it finally. He was just like, it's just too much.
It's so much work. So much.
What do you have on the farm? What kind of animals? You have different animals, or just the dogs?
So horses.
Horses?
Yeah, and that's really, it's mostly just a sex farm, to be honest with you. But
sex farm woman. Remember that?
But yeah, there's a few horses, and then just my dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the strippers and hookers, of course, they don't ever leave.
Well, it's good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you too. I love you so much, man. From the beginning, I think that you're a genius, a musical genius.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Thank you.
I draw strength from the fact that you keep going and keep evolving and keep doing it, man. That's what we got to do. We got to keep going.
Yes, we do. It's all we know.
All right, man. Great talking to you.
All right. Same.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right.